Hey guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all doing great, staying creative and inspired, making all kinds of cool stuff and learning something new every day. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how to create keyframe concept art using photobashing techniques and with the effective use of pictures and 3Ds. This video is about saving your time and generating visuals quickly in Photoshop. I'm going to be creating 3 different shots or keyframes of this rover in a vast landscape. So without wasting any more time, let's do this. For the keyframe designs, I like to work in grayscale. This allows me to focus more on the visual and what it communicates rather than details like color. Before we begin doing anything else, I'll just go ahead and create a new layer, and on this layer I'll fill the whole canvas with black. Then I'll go to layers blending mode and change it to saturation. And then I'll lock the layer so I don't accidentally paint on it. After that, I'll make a new layer underneath it, and also I'll name the black layer as saturation. Now whatever I'm gonna paint will be on the layers beneath that black layer. Do you know what that will do? Whatever images I'll throw into the canvas will be turned to grayscale automatically. Now I want to create a long shot here where we can see a big landscape contrasting with a small rover. So I'm gonna take an image as my base plate. Now I really like the ground in this one, but the distant mountain is a bit too bland and is lacking the detail that I want to include here. So I'm gonna cut and add another image to replace the mountains. This looks much better because this one has more defined highlights and shadows. I erased the bottom of that mountain layer to merge it with the base plate. Now notice that there is not enough value range in this image. Value range is actually the difference between the darkest value present in the image to the lightest one. So I adjusted the curve to make the darks a bit more darker and the light areas a tad bit lighter. Now the mountain is at a much farther distance, so it will have less value. Its darks won't be too dark, which is why I selected the layer and adjusted the levels to make the darks a bit lighter. I've then made a new layer, set it to multiply, selected the black color with the brush opacity set to about 14% and painted the top and the bottom edges of the canvas to create a vignette effect. This will add more drama to the image while also serving a purpose, which is to not let your eyes wander off the subject. But you may ask, there is no subject here. Well, let me stop you there, buddy, because I have got this perfect angle for the rover I'm about to add into the landscape. But before that, I'm going to add some more quick adjustments to the image. So I changed the curves, lowered down the opacity for that vignette, and added some haze near the bottom of that big mountain. And now I'm ready to add the rover, so I'm gonna throw a 3D render which I have in a PNG format. Scale it according to the size and figure out its positioning. Once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna make selection around that rover and add some shadows on that thing. For the ground shadows, I'm gonna make them longer to register that golden hour lighting that we're used to seeing in films. It makes the visual look less flat and basically pretty damn cool. After that, I'm painting over the ground and the mountain to get rid of some sharp photographic detail and to make the visual look kind of unified in terms of style. And then I added some highlights on the ground right behind that main subject, which makes it kind of pop out more and easily visible even though it's at a great distance. That is one of the common mistakes that I frequently see beginner artists make. They don't put enough separation between the subject or the point of focus to the background. And this can be done in several ways, but an easy trick to remember this is that if your subject is light, put it against a relatively darker background, and if the subject is dark, put it against a relatively lighter background. It's as simple as that. So this artwork is pretty much done. I have added some highlights on the mountain and some large shadows, maybe from clouds up ahead. Then I added a nice letterbox around it to give it a cinematic feel. Turned the brightness down a bit and a large round brush to add some light coming from the left. And it's done. Moving on to the next one. Now for this one, I want to show the rover up close, and for that I want to use this image as my base plate, with these cars gone, of course, because I don't want these vehicles to show up in a Martian landscape. So I got rid of these cars or carts or whatever the hell they were and painted over the background to roughly fix some of the errors caused by the content aware tool. And then I'm gonna drop the rover onto our base plate. Whoa, not so fast. fast. How did you get that rover on the exact same angle as the baseplate image? You had a side view of that rover in the previous artwork, no? How did you get this one? Maybe on the internet somewhere? But then is it safe to use? I mean, isn't it a copyrighted thing? Well, how? Well, the answer is simple. Envato Elements, a must-have service for artists and creatives, and also the sponsor for today's video. I got the 3D model of that rover on Envato Elements. I was able to view it from all kinds of different angles, including the ones that I'm using for this video. Once I like a particular angle, I download that 3D render in a PNG format, which enables me to drag and drop the objects onto my baseplate image. It's really effective and saves you a lot of time. There are thousands of 3D models on Envato Elements, including all sorts of objects, people, and props that you can quickly download and use in your concept art pieces, or to generate quick ideas and visuals. And all that without any sort of technical knowledge of 3D softwares. I find that really amazing. I have been personally using Envato Elements for quite some time now, and it has really helped me with my client projects as well as with my YouTube video production. It offers a huge library of over 52 million assets, including royalty-free stock photos, footage, fonts, music, templates, graphics, 3D, and anything you need for speeding up your workflow and adding quality to your projects. You can download as many assets as you want with just one subscription, which is really affordable and worth every dollar. So stop worrying about copyrighted pictures and get access to millions of royalty-free photos and 3D for your work. Get your subscription now using the link down in the description. Alright, back to the video now. So I put the rover onto the canvas and turned down its brightness because it was really brightly lit. I also adjusted the background to correct perspective and added a long shadow on the left side since the light is coming from the right side of the frame. I also selected the subject here and added shadows on the left side to match it with the lighting of the scene. I think it already looks good, but I'll just use a soft round brush and add a little light at the sides. After that, I want to show the wheels moving and not so static, so I'm gonna paint over them, making sure that I follow the roundness of that wheel when I paint. This will give an illusion of motion. Now I'm adding some shadows here and there, some texture using a large brush, and maybe some dirt coming from the tires. If you don't know what brush I am using for that, check out my other video on the brushes. I'll attach a link for you. Lastly, I'm adding some motion blur to the ground, again to add some sort of motion or action into the frame. I hope you know how to add motion blur in Photoshop, right? Come on. Okay, it's alright if you don't. In my list of upcoming videos, I have noted down an idea for the video where I talk about some useful Photoshop effects that might be helpful for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to create that video. Alright, so for this artwork, I was pretty much done until I realized that I needed some more defined stuff into the background. I added another image of the mountains in the background, resized it, adjusted the levels to push it farther into the background, and now we have something that looks badass. Let's create a third one, which is going to be a top-down shot of that rover in a landscape. Maybe some kind of path between the rocks. Let's see. So I resized and repositioned the base plate, which is this top-down view of the land, and then added the rover from another angle which I downloaded from Envato Elements. The process is very similar. I lowered the brightness, added shadows on the side, added some longer shadows on the ground while keeping in mind the direction of the light. Then I added huge shapes of shadows surrounding the rover. Maybe there are some big rocks or mountains ahead which are casting these long shadows. These also help create that vignette look, keeping the viewer's attention in the middle. Then I painted some shadows and highlights where needed, and also the wheels of the rover, and it's done. So now we have 3 scenes, or 3 different keyframe concept art pieces. The letterbox is really giving a cinematic feel to the artwork. To make it look even more cinematic, you can add some film grain effect on them. You can also use some gradient maps on these to add some hint of color. Quick question, do you want to learn 3 ways to quickly add color to a grayscale artwork? Comment down below if you seek that knowledge and I shall deliver it to you. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, hope you learned something new. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and make sure you comment down below. I try to read all of your comments and try to reply to as many as I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button now. It will really help me grow this channel and bring out more content for you guys. And if you have already subscribed, I want to say thank you so much. You're breathtaking. You all are breathtaking. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.